Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, October 13th, 2025. And as you all know, I wasn't here last week. Had some family stuff going on. And as I say in many of my videos and situations like that, family always comes first. So I want to thank you all for being here. Um, just to let you know, there's medical problems going on with my mother. She is 81 years old, um, and she's struggling with health issues at this point. And we don't know how much longer she'll be here. We don't know exactly um, what the parameters involve as far as treatments and stuff like that. Um, but basically, she has pancreatic cancer. So we all know that's not a good thing. And she lost other relatives to that. So last week I took off to spend 4 days with her and help her with her medicines and try to get her situated with doctor visits, stuff like that. So that's always a priority. If I'm not here, usually there's something going on that I just is beyond my control. And in this case, I'll always go to see my mom. You all don't matter at that point. So just letting you all know. So I haven't done anything really much in the garage. And when I left off in the last video, I had worked on the roll bar for the 68 fastback known as Fangled. I managed to get the hoop in and the one strut on the driver's side. And of course I just stopped, I just stopped doing what I was doing. Along with that, I should point out, you see I have a bandage on my hand. I had a surgery scheduled for this past Friday, and that's part of the reason why I went up from Monday to Thursday to see my mom, and then I came back to have this surgery done. And it's a trigger finger surgery, so you could probably see my middle finger is not straight, and things are tender and sore, so I really can't do much anyway. I'm trying to do some things in here, but I need to recover from surgery and think about my mom as well. But anyway, that's the status. I do have more to do in here, obviously. I have more work to do. I have more videos to make. I also had edited a video or two videos that I had done previously on the Brooklyn Pony, dealing with installing the B-pillars, quarter panels, wheel houses, rocker panels on that build. And I think that's good for people to see that and kind of revisit that project. I do not know the status of that car. I couldn't tell you anything about it at this point, but that's what is going on right now. Now, I'm trying to get stuff done as whatever I can, but I'm pretty limited. I have to wear a glove and keep this hand from getting hit. It's very tender in this spot right here, and being right-handed, that kind of makes this hand what I have to use for everything. So it just makes it a bit of a challenge. But we'll talk about some stuff. I just sent myself some pictures because whenever I was, let me see if it's sent. Whenever I went back to visit my family, I was able to take just a couple hours to visit somebody who has taken possession of my brother's old Studebaker. And I don't know if I showed it before or not, but my brother had built a Studebaker truck. I think a 49 is what it was, and it was a four-wheel drive. He had made it into a four-wheel drive, not a factory four-wheel drive. Those are hard to come by. And over the years, it got beat up and worn out, and he had sold it. So I met the guy who he had sold it to, and the truck has been rebuilt as kind of a rat rod type of thing. It's pretty cool. Let's see if I can get these two pictures up, just to show you that real quick. This is the truck right now, and it's a hodgepodge of stuff. So the truck itself is Studebaker. It has a chopped top. It's got a Mopar engine in it. I don't know what the engine is, but I know it's a Dodge engine. High-rise intake, 2 4 barrels, and a Dodge nose on it. and most of it is custom built. Now this truck, when my brother drove it, was on a four-wheel drive chassis, had chrome stacks on the back, had a beer keg for a fuel cell in the bed, and it was driven, had a Studebaker drivetrain. I don't know if I have a picture of that available on my stuff here, but it was completely different. So now this has been redone, and the guy, in fact, those are the seats my brother used, and those were out of a Renault Le Car, as they're called, and so he kept those seats in there. But it was pretty cool to get in there, and we fired it up. We had it running, and it was pretty cool. So I was able to hang out with him a little bit and talk about times with my brother, and so that I just needed some time to get away, and that was a good thing to interact with them. Him and a buddy actually. So I'm not sure what I want to talk about tonight. I know that typically I try to talk about the projects that I'm working on and projects, what I'm doing and as I'm progressing through. And of course that's askew right now. There's no, my mind's not really totally in that bracket for what we're doing right now. So if you have something you want to talk about or a question you want to bring up, by all means, I encourage you to bring it up. And we'll see how long we go tonight, maybe half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how things feel and what kind of interaction we get going on. Now, the first one in tonight is early on, Dave Tyson. Good evening, all. Hope your mom is better, Barry. Yes, thank you, Dave. Give you a bell. Yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next, I don't know. I'm not, she's not young. We all know that. Life happens. There's a life cycle, and we're all part of that. And to be honest, the clock starts ticking the day we're born, right? So at some point, that clock is going to stop, and we all need to make sure we're ready for that and make sure we're in the right mindset when that day comes. But mom, she knows. I mean, she's been a nurse for 50 years, so I think she knows what to expect going forward. Rick Ain, let's have some good car talk and good rest of the week. Everybody click the thumbs up button. Yes. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. TJ, good evening, Barry, and everyone from East Dublin, Georgia, where every day is a holiday and every meal is a feast. It is. Whether we believe it or not, it actually is. Terry Keithley, good evening, everyone in Barry. Please hit the thumbs up and like button for Barry. Thank you kindly, Terry and Betty and the cats. Thank you to both of you. And please send prayers for Barry's mother. Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. Jerry's Garage, the Money Pit, good evening to all from Middle Tennessee. Thumbs up for Barry. Thank you, Jerry. And also Pat Edick. Hi, everyone from PA. Hi, Pat. I can't remember if you've been here before. You may have, but I don't remember the name directly. So if you haven't, welcome. Hey, Matco Man. Hello, everyone. Hello, sir. Glad you're here. Nandu. Good evening, Barry and everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Nandu. Yeah, it's been a challenge trying to assess life and what's going on and priorities, and we have to, even when somebody else is ill, friend, family, whatever, we have to take care of ourselves too, and that's the truth. We can't let ourselves fall apart when we're trying to take care of other people. Steve Reed, hello Barry and everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and don't forget to give thumbs up for Barry. Thanks, Steve. From Paducah, Kentucky. Rusty's Restoration, hello, and Barry from Southern Indiana. Give a thumbs up, all. Yes, thank you, Rusty. Hindsight 67, Roger. Greetings from next door. Greetings, Raj. Nandu, sorry to hear about your mom. We'll pray for her and your family. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. David, the bowler hat guy. Good evening, Barry. Hello, all. Hello, sir. Travis Holtman. Good evening, all. Barry, my thoughts are with you, buddy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Travis. I do appreciate that. Also, I finally had a solid weekend and got stuff done on my Mustang. Wheel wells are welded. Rear will be done next Sunday. Fully test fitted probably 10 times with the rear extensions. That's exactly what you have to do. I know you're building a 69, so you obviously have a lot of reference in my videos to help you with that fitting. So glad you're taking advantage of that. Dave Conville, a little late. Good evening, all. Hope everything is okay with your mom. Barry, looks like I missed your comments on her. I'll play back later. That's okay. Yeah, mom's ill. She has pancreatic cancer, and so we're muddling through that process now to see what we're going to do moving forward. So, thank you, Dave. Chris Greenaway, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I'll take that. I will definitely take that. Thanksgiving? Oh, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I haven't thought about Thanksgiving up until right now. And now I'm hungry. I want turkey and stuffing and potatoes and, yeah, yams. I want all that. I want all of it. Terry Keithley, hey, Jerry, go Buckeyes. I got a finger red number 1, so I'm guessing that's some sort of emoji. Michael, Peglerini, evening all. Evening, Michael. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. I'm praying for you and your mom. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. I'm not, and I know a lot of you have been following me for years, and you know that I try to be as upfront with you as I can be, and talk about things, and it's different to talk about a family situation. I've said it before. We've had other things go on, but it's tough, and it's great that everybody follows along and sees what I'm doing. But there's also realistically the human side of my life and where I'm at, and it's not always comfortable to share those things, but it's also something that is part of this process because. Many of you have been around long enough that you probably feel like you know me, and I feel like I know many of you in some sense, and I've tried to be upfront with everything that I do and talk about things. And so when in this case, when I don't have a lot of background, stuff to talk about, videos or different things like that, it's just different. Now. I have, talked about putting this roll bar, and the other side is I haven't cut anything or modified the next piece that goes in. I haven't done that. I've got it marked up, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that anytime soon. Right now, this is my hand to do all the action with, and so I'm struggling with that because of the surgery I had on for the trigger finger. So, I also was planning the next video was supposed to be the finish of the roll bar and getting the roof on the car, then finishing out that part of it. So that's where I'm at. I'm just kind of muddling through right now with this process. Chris Greenaway, been a while since I have been able to view. Okay. Well, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I didn't even know they had a Thanksgiving like that, but hopefully it's similar to the U.S. Thanksgiving. David Wright, good evening, Barry. Blessings to you and your family. My question is, the Dynacorn website said they have sheet metal listed as dynacorn or OER. What is the difference? Well, my opinion, I can't say exactly. Dynacorn is probably their tooling that they have bought, right? So they have their own tooling for making quarter panels and doors and fenders and whatnot. OER, I have seen other boxes and stuff with that on there. So my assumption is OER is another manufacturer and Dynacorn is distributing that stuff. It's not original. I know it says OER. I don't know what OER stands for, but it's probably not like original tooling, I would assume. Now, I have not seen that, so I don't know exactly what they're talking about. So if you have, give me some parameters. Say like, is it like a fender and a fender, or is it, quarter panel and a quarter panel? Let me know what that is, and I don't know how many choices are available for the OER stuff. But my assumption would be it's a secondary line that maybe not quite as good, maybe as a dynacorn. I don't know, but I have not seen that, so I don't have a good answer for you. Okay, so Rick Gaines says OER original equipment reproduction. Chris Greenaway says original equipment replacement. I don't know if any of those are. I don't know what's correct. I really don't. Also, he's Ted and Patty Irwin. Hello, welcome them. Original equipment replacement. Yeah, I don't know for sure. I've seen OER branding on stuff, but I don't know for sure at this point. I'd have to do some more research on that. Rick Gain, I know exactly what you're going through. My mother is also 81, not cancer, but an aortic aneurysm. I am only a caregiver, and being legally blind does not help. Yeah, I know. It's tough, Rick. I know it's tough for you. Richard, what was involved with your hand surgery? I had bad trigger finger on my right hand. I actually have it on both. My left hand still has it, but it's not as bad. So they had to do surgery to release that. Basically, if you don't know what trigger finger is, your finger gets stuck. Like if you make a fist, which I can almost make a fist now, but your finger gets stuck, and there's a tendon and there's a sleeve that your tendon slides through, and the tendon gets irritated from overuse, of course, and then it has trouble going through that sleeve. So the surgery is they cut you open and they slice open that sleeve so the tendon can move back and forth. It may take it, I don't know how long to actually get back to normal. What they're emphasizing is that they don't want me to get it dirty, of course. They say don't get it wet. They, you know how the rules are. So I'm trying to be responsible. Normally I would just take duct tape and wrap it up and be done with it. But I'm trying to do the right things so that it doesn't cause a problem later. Vincent, that's a new name. I'm going to go Vincent Fitante. I don't know. Fitante? That's my guess. I can't say for sure. Good evening, everyone. Praise for Mother Barry. You need to check out a safer coil spring compressor for the Mustang Coil Springs. NPD part number 988-31. I will hold my breath watching you. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And I have upgraded to a much, much better spring compressor. In fact, I think it's an OER. I think it's an OER spring compressor. I'm going to go grab that. Y'all just wait just a second. Let me go grab that thing because now I'm curious. Sorry. Not OER. It's OTC. This is an OTC spring compressor. And look, I even wrote on it, good spring compressor. This thing is the cat's meow for doing these. And I probably did a video on it at some point. This thing, I had a friend of mine that had one of these, and I borrowed his. And I don't know if the NPD is the same as this one or not. This one has these plates that go into the springs. There's two. There's a pair of these plates, and then on top, well, actually there's a set of four. There's 4 plates. So there's these two, and then there's a set of. I haven't even opened this because I use my buddies, and then I bought one of these. It's got a roller bearing in the kit. It has this ball socket thing that fits into the plate. and then it has along the like a square shaft threaded bar that goes inside of all that. And I can't put it together right now, but let me tell you, this kit is probably all I will ever use moving forward. But it may be the same as the NPD, but the part number on it is 7045B. 7045B is this thing, and this was not cheap. I'll say that. It was over $200, but it's a good, really good spring compressor. So I did not look at the NPD. I don't know what that one is. We talked, as you mentioned there, and it may be similar. I don't know, but I know I take chances with the spring compressor, but not anymore. I have that really nice one, and that's what I'll use now moving forward. So thank you for that. All right. I'm just curious now. So OER, original restoration parts, is what I'm seeing. That says JAGS though. I don't know what it. Let me see if it pops up. Just out of curiosity, I wanted to see what this says. Original equipment reproduction. That's what it says. Original equipment reproduction. Okay. So now we know that based on what it actually says, original equipment reproduction. So Rick Gain, thank you for that. Now we know for sure. Now, as far as Dynacorn having that on their site, I don't know anything about that. I know a couple of Dynacorn dealers, but I don't know if there's anything specific as to why they may have that. So, Chris Greenaway says, thanks for the Thanksgiving thing. And I have good evening, everyone. I'm just going to say Sishu. I don't know what, I can't say that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Sishu. David, have you heard of people using compressed air for boost as opposed to turbos or supercharger prochargers? Thoughts? I have not heard of that. That would be interesting though, but I don't know how they would pull that off. Because you have to increase fuel when you increase air anyway. So I don't know. I've not heard of that. So I'm not familiar with that idea. I have not. Chris Greenaway, the Firebird Central parts have all OER stickers. Okay. Michael, Classic Industries sell OER products. Okay. Simone, hooked on classics. Good evening, Barry and all. Sorry I missed the show last week. I have been having a difficult time. Hope you are all well. Yeah, I didn't even have a show last week. Had family stuff that I had to take care of, so I wasn't even here. But welcome, Simone. Sorry. Travis, I have a different one. I swear by it connects to the saddle where the shock mounts. Yes, I've seen those, and that's a good idea. I think this one that I have can be used on a variety of vehicles, so that's why I like it. It can be used whatever, because who knows what I'm going to get in here. Typically, I'm doing Mustangs, right? But I didn't want to have one specific just for Mustangs. I wanted to have variables. Hurricane OTC makes some wonderful products. Can't beat their hub grappler when it comes to doing a wheel bearing on an old Subaru. Okay, that's a different thing. Simone, I have good news regarding the Cortina. A fellow YouTuber is going to help me with it. I need to have it moved 250 miles away. That's a big move. That's a really big move for where you live, for sure. For us, that's just driving across the state. But for you, that's a really big move. So I hope that goes well. Richard, I'm curious how the air dryer worked on for the respray. It worked good. It did fine. Yeah, it did. It seemed to take care of the water issues. So yeah, it's all good. Uh, Harvey, Raleigh Cat Garage. Hi Barry. I have the same old school spring compressor. It is the best tool for the job. It is the safest one out there. Still use caution. Congrats on that purchase. Yes, thank you, Harvey. Yeah, that's. I mean, I use this one. If you go back to the Jade videos, yeah, I'm pretty sure I used them on the Jade when I was assembling out in the driveway when I was working on Jade. I think I used this same kit. And when I was taking the Cobra Jet apart, I didn't have much to go with, so I just chose poorly and used what I had on hand. And later on, I said, you know what? I forgot that my friend has this kit. I'll just borrow it from him. And after that, I said, I'm just going to get my own. I don't need to be scrounging around trying to find a borrow on one. If he's not home and I need it, I'll just get my own. Gig'em Garage, good evening, Barry. Kevin Barth here from North Texas. Welcome, Kevin. Glad you're here. Hope all is well. Yeah, we've talked about these tools, and I had somebody had started watching my videos, and they were commenting. They had messaged me and said, I like the fact that I'm not using like super high dollar tools and equipment. I mean, I'm doing it as a regular guy in a garage, because that's what I am. I'm a regular guy in a garage. And granted, I do have some tools like this spring compressor, which is not a cheap tool, but I'm also not like, you need this $10,000 blah 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 or this $5,000 blah 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 to do this work. I mean, I built a jig out of a boat trailer, and they really do appreciate that, because I get people to comment that says, "Oh, you need to get a spot welder." Like, they see me MIG welding something together, which I prefer, but they're saying you need to get like this spot welder, which is a $10,000 machine, and I understand that point, but I also go, the average Joe in the garage isn't going to go out and buy a $10,000 spot welder to work on his personal car. He's not going to do that. So while it does make sense, it doesn't always make sense to the end user that I'm trying to reach. If I say, oh, well, you got to go get this high dollar whatever, they're going to be like, well, I can't do that because I can't buy that tool just to do this job one time. They can't justify it. So that's a lot of times why I approach things from the backyard guy. That's what I should do. Maybe I should change the name, Backyard Garage, right? Something like that. No, I'm not going to do that. It's going to stay Joe Daddy's Garage. But anyway, it's nice to have a variety of tools and stuff on hand, but I'm not going to invest heavily into stuff that I can't justify. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I know I showed it earlier, but I wanted to go back to these pictures. Now, I was talking earlier about this is my brother's Studebaker truck. Well, it's really just the cab, but when he had this, and I'll show the dash, I want to talk about the dash that's in this truck. They welded a plate on top of the original dash. When my brother had it, he had a dash he made out of warmy chestnut, and it had a rope around the perimeter. It was very rustic looking on the inside. It was pretty cool. And they tried to, this guy knew my brother, so he was trying to keep what he could of the original truck, but he also knew that he couldn't rebuild it exactly like it was because it was just too far gone. But he also built a custom bed for it that fits on this, bolts onto this little frame that he built. And they use this truck, or have used this truck, at Jennerstown Speedway. Jennerstown is a racetrack up in Pennsylvania, Jennerstown, Pennsylvania, and they have driven that truck as a pace truck around on race nights. So it's pretty cool. He's still my brother was a racer, and it's I think it's pretty cool that something he had is continuing to be seen and driven on the racetrack. It's just really neat. I talked to this guy. Um, I know that there's some people would really like what he has going on. He has a bunch of Mopars. He was really into the Mopar stuff, but he wanted to have this truck. He told me he remembered delivering papers in our town and seeing that truck as a four-wheel drive at my brother's house when he was younger. And he was like, man, I really want this truck. And the opportunity came about, and my brother ended up selling it to him. So it's pretty cool. Doyle, are you still going to do a fastback conversion? I finally broke down and bought a paint shaker and another paint gun, LVLP Drizzle D1 for base clear. I mean, that's what this 68 technically is a fastback conversion. So this is the Fangled fastback, and that's what I've been, working on. So I may do another one in the future. I don't know yet, but that's basically what this car is at this point. So I don't know if I gave you a welcome. I don't know if you came in earlier or not. So also you mentioned the Drizzle D1. I have one of those, but I haven't tried it yet. I need to figure out the what I want to try it on. Like I'm going to need a test vehicle or test panel to try to spray it, because I don't want to do it on a vehicle that I'm already doing in case there's a problem. So, I'll be testing it at some point. Dave Tyson, I fight myself over buying more and more tools. Yes. Yeah, it is. It's easy to get caught up in the tool stuff. And I have plenty of hand tools for sure. Variety of wrenches and sockets and just all kinds of things. And I'm sure there's stuff in here that I've forgotten about. I'm pretty sure. Rich Watley, hi everybody. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Rich. And he says thumbs up, LOL. Yes. Okay. Hugh, Unapologetic American. Hey Barry, this is Hugh. Miss me? I've had emergency major back surgery. L1 to S1 all fused and titanium rods, screws and plates. Sorry I haven't been here. Well, that's no excuse, mister. Yeah, I had back surgery. I'm not going to show up. No, I'm kidding, of course. Wow, that sounds painful and not fun at all. Yeah, L1, I don't know where L1, I mean, I'm guessing lower back. I don't know the numbers. I know it's L1 to L whatever. Yeah, that just doesn't sound fun at all, Hugh. So I hope you're recovering and doing well. Here's an extra bell, maybe. Sorry, that's tough. I really do hope you're doing well. Simone says, Barry, I have sent an email to a Mustang a friend owns. His workshop caught fire and he lost everything but the car. Oh my. Wait a minute. Let me see if it showed up. I don't see it yet. Okay, here we go. I'm going to see if I can. Oh, okay, so great. I was expecting to see pictures of a burnt garage, but I feel better that you're sending me pictures of an intact car. Oh, I can't imagine having a shop fire and burning everything up. It's not even comfortable to think about that. So she's sending me these pictures, and I'm downloading them at the moment. So see if I can get this other one. So let me pull down a comment real quick and show you this car. I like this 67, and that looks like the lime gold color, I'm assuming. And Simone, you know, you might want to let them know on eBay. No, this is a 68 though. I have this, which is like the sister to that car. This is a 68. It's No Rev, I think, is the name of the company. So there you go. I found this on eBay. It was a 68. Had to have it. That's my replacement for Jade right now. That's pretty cool. That's a nice looking car. And I'm glad that survived the fire that he had. That's never fun to think about a fire in a shop. So yeah, that's nice. Okay. Vincent. Barry, I've seen you use a Lincoln welder, R Captain, and now a Yes welder. Just curious as to which one was your favorite. That's a great question, actually. And I was thinking about this the other day because when I reviewed the videos that I did on the Brooklyn Pony, I was using the Lincoln. And when I was watching that video, I was listening to the buzz, right? Because you want to hear that sizzling bacon kind of sound. And I was listening to that, and it was okay. It was, it was a good welds. And I know that for simplistic purposes, that Lincoln 140T is what I was using, is I mean, it's a basic welder. So if somebody were to start out with that, that's good. They can learn from that because they can dial it in, right? So it only has like a speed setting and a heat setting, and you figure it out from there. Now, the newer welders with the computer built in, they have their advantages in that you can select the material thickness, you can select the wire gauge, you can select what gas you're using, you can set up parameters for like before burn, after burn, having gas prior or after, like post weld, pre weld. So they have that advantage as well. Now, I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay with the Lincoln. I still have it. It sits on my welding cart, the one that I built, and I haven't turned it on in years. Yes Welder had sent me a variety of welders over the years, and with each one, I feel like they've gotten better and better and better. For a brief period, our captain had sent me their whatever it was. I don't remember the number on it. And that welder was fine. It did the same. It had the dial in. You could set parameters on it, and it did a fine job. And then I was approached by Yes Welder to do a demonstration on their DP200. Currently, that's what I'm using. I could easily go back to the R Captain. I could go back to even the Lincoln, but I do like that Yes Welder. It has that dual pulse function. It has simpler controls. It's easy to read, easy to adjust. Even with dialing it in, you can still adjust it to what you might like. So like if I've selected a thickness of metal, and then as I'm welding, I'm like, ooh, that sounds just a little bit too hot for my style, I can tune it back just a little and run with it. And so I've had really great success with the Yes Welder DP200. And I'll just continue using that. I have some of their old versions that are just sitting on the shelf that I won't use. I don't need to. I have some versions. They sent me a couple that have like a built-in plasma cutter and welder and all that stuff. That's okay. I just don't like having multiple stuff in one unit. I'd rather it just be a welder or a plasma cutter. I don't need all the extra variables. So right now, the DP200 is my go-to welder from Yes Welder. There you go. That's my answer. Great question, by the way. Thank you for that. Richard says, I buy tools from Harbor Freight and can't remember why I bought them. Yeah, I do typically pick up stuff from Harbor Freight, but I very seldom go there without a purpose. I try not to pick up anything that I don't need. Matco Man, just keep a little bit of grease threads and the ball socket, and that tool will last a long time. Yeah, talking about that spring compressor. Exactly. Yep. Richard talking to Hugh. Sorry to hear about your surgery. I hope you have a quick recovery. Yes. Uh, Rick, too much of it will run and drive on YouTube from other providers. For some reason, though, wildfires seem to keep donating lift to other content creators. Yeah, yeah, you don't need that. Might command a little bit of maintenance will go a long way keeping your tools working and you safe. That is very true. That is very true. Rick went to Home Depot to buy two M18 batteries along with the charger. They had a special and I got a free belt sander. I literally have no use for it, but it is the most expensive option, so I took it. Well, that makes perfect sense to me. Maybe you can turn around and sell it, make a few bucks back. You know, there's always that option. I've seen these ads pop up on TikTok for the heated jackets, the Milwaukee like electrically heated jackets heated with the M18 batteries. I don't think they're accurate because they're trying to say these things are selling for $9.99 on TikTok. I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way you're going to get pay $9.99 with the battery even and the charger. No, not buying it. Rick, I sent you a link to picture my dad's '05 Mustang, which I'm selling. Yep. I don't know if it'll let me. Yeah, we talked about this Mustang, and if it'll let me. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it won't let me just directly download the picture for some reason. I'll have to save it and then post it. So, let me see if it'll do this. So yeah, Rick had talked to us. We talked a couple of weeks ago about his dad's Mustang that he was going to be selling, and so I'm going to post that. Let me see if I can get the. Oh, thank you, Travis. Seriously. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I really, really do. And I'll do that. I will use it for that. Let's see if I can get this picture here. If I have enough space. So we had talked about where is it at? So Rick was selling his dad's Mustang, and here's a picture of it. Now, whoops. Now it's a V6 car, but it has these add-ons, and if I remember, Rick, I think it's like, is it 38,000 miles on this thing? And I think it's an '05. I mean, it's a really, really nice looking little Mustang here. So if anybody is interested in this car, you can email me, and I'll get you in touch with Rick. I know he was trying to work on, pricing, what it could be worth. But if you're interested, send me a email, and I'll hook you up with Rick so we can maybe you all can get together and make a deal on a Mustang. Hughes says, thanks, Barry and Richard. They called it something, cauda equina disease. Long story, but I will end up in a wheelchair eventually looking for a ramp for the house. Now my wrench turning days are done. Oh man. I don't like to hear that at all. Well, maybe you can scale down. Just saying. You can still build model kits. That would be great. Right? I know if I were getting to that situation, I'd probably be doing something along those lines. But I hope that's a long way off. I really do. I really do. Nobody, wants to be in that situation. So, hang in there. Hang in there. Simone says, good night, everyone. It's rather late here in the UK. Have a good evening. Thank you, Simone. I'm glad you checked in. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in these tools and equipment, and like Hugh, he's dealing with health issues as well. And as I say, the clock started ticking the day we were born, and it's up to us to do what we can with the life we have, take care of ourselves and our family and our friends, and one day the clock stops, and I hope everybody is in a good position for that. One day I don't know if I'll live to be 90 years old or not. I don't know, but I'm not going to dwell on that either. I can't. I don't worry about that. When that day comes, it comes. You know, my brother passed away at 59, so I got all that. I'm 58 right now, and I don't expect to have the issues he had. But that's the reality of it. He could be gone in the next few minutes. that's a fact. Doyle says, I sent some pics of the underhood done with Eastwood paint. The hood is the last panel stripped off the 69 Cutlass. Finally making some headway. Okay. Let me see if that showed up yet. It's acting weird. It's like it's having to reload my Gmail. And I don't see it. I don't see it, Doyle. I don't know where it's at. I'm knowing what you've been doing. I'm going to assume it looks nice, though. I don't know where it's not showing up. Sorry, I don't know why it's not showing up. So, if it doesn't show up in the next couple of minutes, maybe we'll catch it on the next time. All right. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. Okay. Well, we're doing pretty good. It's been 48 minutes, and I haven't had my sip of coffee yet. So let me get that in before the night is over, because I'm probably not going to be on here just another couple of minutes. I hope to have something for the next week to put up, by Friday to put up on YouTube. I got to keep feeding that animal. Whenever, if I don't put something up, they forget about me, right? And so I'm trying to keep that moving as best I can. So I'll probably re-edit some, maybe some other Brooklyn Pony videos and put those up in place and go from there. But as it is, there's really not much I'm able to do out here in the garage right now. I'm not going to try to weld. I'm not going to try to hold the big grinder and all those things that I need to do for this car, obviously. But I may do some other odds and ends while I'm in here. Doyle says I had to take a year off, a left knee and hip replacement, and a sepsis virus. Like to have took it. Oh, like to have taken you out in 24. Oh wow, man. Yeah. We don't need any of that. We don't need any of that. Let me see if. Okay. So Doyle sent me this. I'm just gonna download one of these because the other pictures. I mean, it's a good picture, but I'm just gonna download the one because Doyle had told us that he had done the underside of his hood. Let's see if this will let me do it. I don't have enough room. I have to delete something. Delete that one. And then we'll pull up Doyle's picture. So he had commented that he had painted this on the underside of his hood with Eastwood paint. And that's what it looks like. So let me put on a comment to get it out of the way. And that does look really nice. and that was, I don't know which specific name what it was, but it was with Eastwood paint. So I don't know if there's a part number or something, but that does look really nice. So thank you for that, Doyle. Pull that down. Rick Gain on the Tim Allen Show, shifting gears as a mechanic that works in a garage that's in a wheelchair. Spinning wrenches may not be over. Wishing you the best of luck. Yes. I've seen, I've heard of mechanics that were like, I know you have vision problems, that were like totally blind, like totally blind, and are still working on, engines and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, it's definitely a transition for everybody. And we don't want to have to deal with that, but the human experience continues. We're driven to do things, and even now it's hard for me to not just dig in and start abusing my hand to get stuff done. So it's tough. Travis says, looks like single stage and looks great. I agree. It does look very good. It does look very good. So, okay. I need to get in the house, get something to eat. I hope everybody has enjoyed this. I know that I've been doing this for several years now, and I do like talking about this and coming out here and sharing sharing information and all that sort of thing. Richard Vogel, Eastwood Underhood Black works really nice. So is it actually labeled Underhood Black? Is that what it's called? I don't know if that's a name of it or not. Yeah, Rick says, I knew something was odd. Rick Stevenson hasn't been here. Yeah, he hasn't. So, anyway, I at this point, I don't know if I'll be back here next week or not. I may be back in Pennsylvania with my mom, kind of playing it by ear, and just, see what happens. Okay, so Doyle says, just Eastwood Underhood Black, high heat rattle cans on Amazon for free shipping. Okay. Well, thank you, Doyle. That's good to know. Okay. So like I said, I don't know if I'll be here next week or not, but I'm going to close out tonight, get in the house, get something to eat. And I want to thank you all for being here and paying attention and being part of this. And, of course, watching the videos and everything else that you all do to help keep things going. So that'll be it for tonight. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.